1978 rolled around and I did this soundtrack for the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it was exhilarating and exhausting, as you say, 20-hour days for a number of weeks. And I decided, even though it had been quite an adventure, I didn't want to do another one because it had pulled me away from everything else in my life. And so I was glad to have had the opportunity, but once was enough for me. And at that time, I went back to the purity of acoustic music for actually several decades. And what pulled me back into electronics was developments of the technology that made it more and more possible for me to realize this childhood dream of being an orchestra in real time. Because it's one thing if you have a studio where you can build up tracks one by one, you know, and then go and overdub on that track, go back and say, oh, now I'm going to add some violins, you add them. Now, okay, now some time for French horns. And so you slowly build up the sound of an orchestra in that way. I wanted to do all that in real time as a performer, as an improviser. So what pulled me back into really investigating this was technology, where now synthesizers, instead of living exclusively in black boxes with keyboards on them, they're living in computers. And the power is exponential compared to what it was before. So now I could just call on such a palette of sounds and textures from moment to moment that I was able, given that I did have a multi-keyboard rig and these keyboards that would trigger the synthesizers and the computers, now I could get closer and closer to that goal of being an orchestra. And George was the perfect partner for this because he shared this musical vision, and we are so simpatico after playing together for so many years. It is really quite telepathic when we get together. So we began back in about 2013, 2014, getting together in my studio, and what we told ourselves is what we're just going to explore is totally free improvisation. That we're going to begin from ground zero, no preconception, premeditation of what's going to happen. We're just going to let the music unfold. And that's what we would be. And I would turn on the Pro Tools and record it, and we just got together, did a lot of this, and over time, some albums began to emerge. And fortunately, Francois Zalacan at Sunnyside Records was open to this music, so now there's 3 albums out on Sunnyside of this music with George Marsh. The first one was Riding the Moment. The second one was called Expedition. And the one that came out just about a year ago was called Telepathy. And I think that really shows also our development and kind of where we've taken this idea together. Well, you know, I really feel like I'm 44, man. Fortunate to be in good health, and I just have good energy and just feel like trucking on, man, doing stuff.